Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, I've got some news for all you wonderful people. We're going to talk about Reform UK and Nigel Farage. There's a couple of things happening, but I also want to clarify an issue that a lot of people have I think they've misunderstood, whether deliberately or so. I think some are capitalising and abusing what has been said by Nigel Farage. I think some people just maybe misunderstood, or there's a lot of people who just don't care. But the two things we need to talk about are both very, very important. And I think we'll start with the latest one. We'll start with the big news, and then we'll go on to the explanation in a moment. First of all, Nigel has come out today, and he's announced some massive, massive news for the party. It's a couple of pieces of very interesting information that's coming on. When the party was set up, in order to make it functional and get it up and running quickly and allow decisions to be made, it was set up as a private limited company. So it was Reform UK Limited. And it was guaranteed by the shares of the shareholders. The money goes in from the shareholders. That's what guarantees the company. That's normal. That's how it works. I've got my own company that's done exactly that. Now, today, Nigel has announced that because the party has, in his words, come of age, it's grown, it's now large enough that, in his words, small minorities of extremists cannot corrupt and subsume this nascent political party at an early stage, which is why he kept it as a limited company. He's now giving up total control. Now, he owns 60% of the shares, and he's going to give most of these away, or sell most of them, whatever it'll be, but dispose of the shares. Now, the current theory, he hasn't confirmed it yet, but it looks like what's going to happen is that it's going to be basically put into a trust. That's usually the way to deal with these things. Or the shares will be devolved out into the members, so everyone can buy a share in Reform, and then everyone owns a tiny share of Reform, which I think would be a better way, because at least then not only are you a member of the party, you're also a partner in the party, which I think is a great idea as well. But that's for the future. How they decide to do it is their business. It's no business of mine. I don't care. The fact is, he's willingly giving up the control of the party now because he says it's grown. And this comes because of his second piece of information that he's given today. And that is that the party's now got in excess of 80,000 members. That's more members than the SNP's got, as an example. It's also almost level with the number of members the Tory party. It's not quite there. We were wondering, I did a video last week saying, have they overtaken? Well, as of now, no. But given the growth that Reform is experiencing, it isn't going to be long. And, most people who leave the Tory party will be going to the Conservative Party. For them, it's a net sum gain. But they're also going to be poaching them from Labour as well, a lot of disaffected Labour voters. So, yeah, it won't be long. Weeks, perhaps, and you find that Reform are a bigger party than the Tories. And this is why the Tories, of course, are incredibly worried. This is why the likes of Kemi Badenoch comes out and says, oh, they're our kind of people. No, Kemi, the Tories are Reform's kind of people. You've got it all way round. You're putting the horse before the cart. No, the other way round. The cart before the horse. See, I'm doing it now. That's excitement for you. But there we are. It's a grown-up party. He's giving up control. He's letting the members and the ministers, or not the ministers, I've got ministers, but the members, the MPs, the politicians, the senior officers run the party. He remains now just as an MP and as party leader. Beyond that, nothing special. He doesn't control the party anymore. Down to the membership. Of course, they are opening branches nationwide, local branches, local associations, and that sort of thing. It's going to be a big movement, and it spells doom, I think, for a couple of the bigger parties. Labour and Tory both need to be really, really worried. And once they get their acting gear in Scotland, I think the SNP will be shitting themselves. Now, that we put to one side. I want to address the other issue that other people have either misunderstood, deliberately misunderstood, or are weaponising. The other day in an interview, Farage said that they weren't going to be doing, if ever reform came to power, that they would not be doing mass, sending people home en masse. I can't remember the word he used there. Mass deportations. And a lot of people say, oh, see, look, Nigel's just like the rest of them. But he actually went on and explained fully why. And when you listen to what the man actually says, rather than just jumping on because of the thing that you want to hear, you'll realise that actually he's probably right. He says, because, first of all, there can be no real effort of getting mass deportations. He said, half the problem is finding them. He said, that's number one. He said, secondly, politically, it would be incredibly difficult. Even if they were the government, there'd be so many hurdles. He said the House of Lords wouldn't buy it, then the courts wouldn't buy it. He said, so basically, you'd be making a rod for your own back and you'd be destined to fail. He says, so why set out on a journey that you know you're going to fail at this stage? So he says, no, we don't. But then he said, we don't need to do mass deportation. He says, it's simple. Anyone, from the day they come over, anyone comes in, they can immediately be sent back, number one. He said, number two, the policies will be done in such a way that they would make coming here unattractive, because there would be no right to housing, no right to money, no right to anything. They'd never get citizenship. The moment they're here illegally, they abandon all hope of ever getting citizenship. If they've come through any safe country, they cannot apply for asylum. Asylum can only come from a dangerous country. France, he says, is not a dangerous country. So they've been in France. They cannot, by law, appeal for asylum. He's going to change all these things. So he's going to make it incredibly, unattractive for people to come in the first place. He said, but anyone who does come will immediately be sent back on a basis of one-for-one basis, and you sign up, you go. He says, and those countries that won't accept their nationals back, he says, that's simple. We just stop their visa program. So, for example, when Pakistan has the problem when we've got Pakistani child aras and abusers, and Pakistan says, well, you don't want them, saying, that's fine, we'll keep them. Boom. And close the borders. Pakistanis cannot come to Britain. And then within about 5 minutes, Pakistan will go, okay, we'll take them, because they're desperate, you see. And so we can send all this filth back. But what he's saying is, and this is where it's good, he said, as soon as anyone who comes to this country commits a crime, they immediately lose their right to remain and they go home immediately. As soon as they are convicted, we don't even jail them, we put them on a plane and we send them home. And that's it. But we take their DNA, their fingerprints, photographs, a lot. If ever they're caught in this country again, it's, again, we put them in and we tell these countries they cannot let these people out and so to come to Britain. Again, also, by the time that they've gone home, they won't find Britain so very attractive at all either. And so he's got it there. And of course, he's right in saying that the fact is that a lot of these illegals who've come here illegally are going to end up breaking the law one point or another. So eventually they'll all be caught and sent home. Just won't be en masse, he said, but it'll just be piecemeal, one at a time. Bing, 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 bing. He said, and eventually they'll all go because they can't help themselves. They all like to commit crime because they cannot live here legally. Their very existence of being here is a crime. He said, but to exist, they've got to work, and that's illegal because they haven't got the right to work. Or they're going to steal, which is illegal, etc., etc. So he says, just use the law. You can't do mass deportations. It won't wash, but you can do them one at a time. Good old Nigel. And so all those people out there trying to say, oh, look, he's deformed. Look, he's doing this. No, he's not. He's sensible. It's called realpolitik. You should look it up. It's very, very apt. And these people who deliberately sort of try to mislead do so because they're scared. They're scared of Nigel. They're scared of reform. They're scared of change. And they're scared of common sense and real people. Remembering now, Nigel is probably going to win the next election. Now, I've done a quick edit here because I was just going to meander out and do my normal finish, but it suddenly occurred to me I need to just put in a little heads up. It's going to be, I think it'll be the 6 o'clock video that I drop. It'll be a video then. It's about Ed Miliband. You want to keep an eye out for it because even I am astounded by what I'm about to tell you with regards to that. So keep an eye out. It's going to drop at 6 and it's the Ed Miliband mental shit show video. You could not make up what I'm about to tell you. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.